My strategic management plan to move the media and communications functions in the federal industry department in which I work to a user pay model was based on the following key considerations. The national budget was in deficit and in trouble. Government was looking closely at the public sector to identify ways of cutting costs and creating greater efficiencies. The delivery of corporate services had become a target. A key area in corporate services was the media and communications function. Modelling was examining the wisdom of keeping the status quo, moving to a shared services arrangement, or outsourcing entirely to the private sector. My plan was to introduce a new media and communications service user pay model, which would demonstrate the competitiveness of the current in-house service. The vision for the plan was to develop a cost-effective and high-quality best practice model for the provision of media and communications services, advice and products for the public sector. The plan involved establishing a task force comprising representatives from relevant communications disciplines to oversee implementation. This included benchmarking market costs of communication services through extensive industry research, conducting market research through interviews and focus groups with customers and clients, establishing billing and financial procedures and practices, recruiting new staff and skills capability, arranging financial training for existing staff, developing clearance and accountability procedures, and finally submitting a business case to the executive. The insights gained from other MBA units and academic literature that may have affected implementation. The original plan did not contain a sufficient focus on a change management strategy to accompany implementation of the new model. The new user pay model represents a significant departure from the core work and culture of the current function. This would herald a new mindset for both the staff and its customers. Without effective change management, there is a very good chance that the new business model would fail. In retrospect, the plan should have recommended the adoption of Kotter's 8-step approach to change, which was originally conceived in 1996 and modified over the years. This model was developed to help organisations to avoid sabotaging success by failing to bring their workforce along with the vision. The Unit of Study Building Operational Improvement discussed this model in detail. Creating a sense of urgency by explaining the vulnerability of the media and communications function in light of impending government budget cuts would have provided staff with a strong impetus for change. Creating a strong vision championed by a strong guiding coalition of peers would have been very effective in diagnosing and addressing what Porter describes as change resistance. Kotter warned that even positive change involves loss and uncertainty, and to ignore the source of this is to do so at management's peril. How would the organisation escape the comfort traps described in Martin's article? A way the media and communications function will avoid Martin's traps is to follow Mintzberg's wisdom to ensure strategic thinking is not confused with strategic planning. In this way, the technical and conceptual insight, together with the data gathered through the industry intelligence and customer market research, will be synthesised to guide the vision for a high-quality, cost-effective user pay model. It is important that we make strategic choices from the perspective of our clients and customers and not get bogged down in irrelevant analytics. The approach must also assume that uncertainty is constant. Traps will be avoided if the plan adopts Mintzberg's concept of emergent strategy. The model must be agile and adaptable to changing circumstances, and not hampered by a formalised and static plan. Change in the public sector is driven by political fortune and misfortune. It is critical that the environment is constantly re-evaluated and the model realigned accordingly.